Is this continued bombardment by Israel of the Hezbollah targets in Lebanon the deterrent to terrorism in that region, or might it actually fuel anti-Israeli terrorism even more?
I think it's probably fueling it. I mean, right now, I think what the U.S. strategy should be is to stop the bombardment. There are thousands of civilians that are being murdered and killed on both sides. And it's in the U.S. interest right now to stop this violence, if only immediately, to evacuate the U.S. citizens that are in Lebanon and in Israel as well, in the interest of U.S. citizens and their lives.
Isn't another potential casualty the destruction of the Lebanese state, a fledgling democracy? And what would happen to the region if that takes place, Randa?
Oh, I think it would be a tremendous loss. I mean, I think the United States and the Bush administration has to get serious about Lebanon in a way that they haven't been over the past 5 years, in a way that I could say the U.S. government hasn't been over the past 20 years. The reality is the Lebanese government needs help. Why are we having a delicate conversation with them about Hezbollah? I was with the Lebanese ambassador a few nights ago and asked him directly regarding why isn't it? Why is Hezbollah so powerful? Why can't you get rid of them? Is it that you don't want to? Is it that you can't? What is the answer? And of course, there is not a straight answer. The reality is Hezbollah is incredibly popular within certain minorities in the religious communities. They have elected members of parliament through a democratic process. How does one deal with that?
Let's talk about, we've been talking throughout for months now about how interrelated everything in the Middle East is, Iraq, and how that seems to have fallen like a domino on every other part of the region over there. Right now, with what we're seeing happening with Lebanon and Israel, are we now realizing that it may have been a big mistake to take Saddam Hussein out of the picture now, because now the influence of Iran is an irresistible force, it seems?
Right. I think we anticipated what Iran's involvement was going to be in Iraq. I don't think it was a mistake that we took out Saddam Hussein, but we do have to live with the consequences, which have been extraordinarily difficult, no question about it. But I would venture to say we have our U.S. ambassador, Zalmay Khalilzad, talking to the Iranians in Iraq, not about the nuclear program, but about Iraq. And I would say if he's talking to them, that means they have serious control over Iraq, and that is a difficult situation. I think that their letter, the president of Iran's letter to President Bush, was a cry to reach out to actually negotiate. I think the reason why Hezbollah took these Israeli prisoners, Israeli soldiers, captive, and Hamas did the same in the Palestinian territories, was it's a cry for help. I think they want a real negotiation here. I think this is a door that needs to be kicked open, and what needs to happen now is a full negotiations at the table for Middle East peace between all of the parties, Israel, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine.